Today I'm working on a 2010 Peugeot bipper, and as you can see here, things are getting real. We have some chewed wires. Some of these, the insulation's just broke a little, others are going to need soldering up, like that one. That's on the verge of breaking. It's all corroded through. I've just cut out this big one that, as you can see, we've got a big case of the green crusties running through that, so that wasn't long for working correctly. I'm going through and just repairing the wires as I see fit. I haven't got matching colours. Unfortunately, it's a bank holiday weekend and you've got to do what you've got to do. So the wiring loom's there. The customer needs the vehicle to get back to work Tuesday, so we are just going to go with heat shrink of the wire colour if I've got it, wire of the wire colour if I've got it. If not, it will just go a different colour with heat shrink. I work on the vehicle, so I know that that's been done. That's fine. I'll loom tape all this back up properly and try to stop it from rubbing through again. I have left a bit of extra wire just to add a little bit less stress inside the casing, because the problem is it runs down the bulkhead here and this is where it attaches. So the backstory of why we got to this situation is air mass meter. So signal low for air intake temperature sensor. On this particular vehicle, the centre two pins, pin 3 and 4, are the two pins that run the air temperature sensor. Now that wire in them runs underneath the diesel filter housing across here, across in this part of the loom. Now this part of the loom is separate, so you can unplug this part of the loom from here, but it is all the way up to here as well. So you can buy this brand new, but you are looking at, there was one on eBay for 250 quid for a £200 for a what was that? That was for a 1.6, but obviously depending on year, make, model, the wiring could be slightly different. Dealer's probably going to be £400-500. So repairing it is really the cheapest, best option. Like I say, I can't unfortunately get any different coloured wires because it's bank holiday and most things are shut. So we'll go with what we got. We got the air mass meter out, which is here, and I tested it. Auto data tells you to test pin 2 and 3, and all you do is the resistance check. That resistance changes depending on temperature. Just don't get caught out like I did on live data. Just because it tells you there's a signal there doesn't mean it's true, because on live data on the scan tool it was telling me that I had the same intake air temperature sensor as the boost temperature sensor with key on, engine off. Temperatures were almost the same. Strike it up and all of a sudden there would be a 10-degree difference and it'd throw a code. But it was still saying that there was a 7-degree air temperature moving into the engine. Turns out that it's substituting that value, which is irritating, but that's just what they've decided to do. This wiring loom obviously lives down the back of the engine. There's two of these holding it to the back of the engine. You have to take the wires off the starter motor, unplug the crank position sensor, and a couple of other things in order to get it up out the way. I also had to take the diesel pipes off because they were in the way of pulling the loom up. You could go to the trouble of taking it all the way out, obviously, if you're going to replace it, but I'm just soldering it up, so there's no point in digging down the front of the engine and taking the alternator wires and everything off. I can just do it here, that's fine. When I originally tested this, what I did was I pulled the casing off the loom here, and the wires were down here, and what I did was I worked out which wire was which on here. So brown is the 5-volt, yellow is the signal to computer, And what I did was I got a pin out of this plug. So, well, it's all three, but basically this, the second one, is socket B. So it's socket B, you pull that out, and then it's, what is it? It's E6 and E7 or 8. I don't remember exactly right now, but it's 6, 7 or 8 is the 2 pins that come to here. I mean, you can obviously find it a lot easier by taking off the sheathing. To be fair, there are only, I think, 3 yellows going into the back of this, 3 or 4. All I did was, there's 3 yellows here, so what I did was I just took a multimeter and pierced probed the wire and checked, and I had continuity from here to here, which meant I knew the brake was further on, and I had no continuity between here and here. So then I knew that this part of the loom is where the brake was. At that point, I then yanked on the wire and it just fell out. I knew then I got a brake and I had to get the wire and loom out. So then I pulled the wire and loom out, and that's when I then found the little mess that is under here. So I'm going to go through and repair all these and try and make this run again. But I thought I'd do that little video just to help you understand what's going on if you've got a problem with that. Now, there is actually a known problem with these, just so you are aware of many different problems with this engine. From injector faults, air intake, boost temperature sensor faults, and it is all to do with this wiring loom rubbing in the casing on the back of the engine. It is a known fault. So if you've got those problems, you might want to pull your wiring loom out first and check to see if you've got wiring loom issues, because it could save you going down a rabbit hole and spending a lot of money on sensors you don't need. With that, I'm going to sign off and get soldering some more wires. I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me solder 40 different bits of wrong coloured wiring. It's going to drive the keyboard warriors absolutely nuts. Good. But I'm going to start soldering some wires in here and get this repaired. Yes, that is the only code I had, was actually for that wire, just to be clear. Obviously I'm going to repair the rest of these because I'm here. It's going to be a problem. Thanks for watching. See you next time.